Hello all you super geniuses out there. Welcome to another video lecture from Super Genius 99. Today we're going to be doing synthetic division as a part of polynomial division. Let's read the instructions and jump right into it. Use synthetic division to find the quotient and the remainder. Okay, so here's our problem. X squared minus 5x minus 6 divided by x minus 6. Okay, so this is one that you can factor and reduce, so I'll leave it up to the viewers to factor and reduce. But in this video lecture, we'll be doing synthetic division, and so let's go ahead and set it up. So we start off setting up synthetic division with the division bar here. And so what goes under this division bar is this first portion. And we write out the coefficients. Okay, so what is the coefficient of x squared? What is the coefficient of negative 5x? And what is the coefficient of minus 6? Okay, that's step one. Step two is you take this portion and write it out here. Okay, you're not going to write, you're just going to take the second portion of this minus x, and which is negative 6, you're going to reverse the sign. So here is coefficients. And then here is reverse the sign. Okay, so it was a negative 6, minus 6, so we're going to put outside positive 6. Okay. To do the synthetic division, first step is just bring down this first number. Okay. Multiply this number out here times this number, put it under this number. So 6 times 1 is how much? Yeah, 6. Put it under here. Okay, and then just add negative 5 plus 6. Okay, multiply this times this number, and what do you get? 6. Put it up here. Okay, just add those two, and what do you get? 0. Okay. Whatever is in the last box, whatever's in this last position here, is your remainder. So in this case, we have no remainder. These two become coefficients of the answer of your divisor of your quotient. So yeah, so these two become your answer, and so it goes in sequential order as far as the powers of x. So this is x to the 0 power, and x to the first power. And this is the coefficient. So since this is positive, just plus. our remainder is 0. So then our answer is just x plus 1. And you can, like I said, you can factor and divide this one just to prove that this divided by this equals x plus 1. All right, so that's a lot to chew on, but we will do another one in 1 second. Okay, here's another one. X squared minus 4, x minus 2. Let's write a fraction bar. My black is fading, so I'll change to another color. Okay, so what goes on the inside? So here, you write the coefficients, okay? So you might say, well, the only coefficients I see is the coefficient of x squared, which is 1, and the coefficient of this negative 4 is just negative 4. Okay. But we can't do this because, similar to long division, we have to represent every coefficient of the powers of x from the highest power to the lowest power, even if 1 isn't there. So in between this x squared and this 4, we're missing an x to the first power. Or you might say, well, there is no x to the first power. And yes, you were correct, there is no x to the first power, but we still have to represent it. So since there's none of it, we represent it with the 0. So if you want to write down, this is saying x squared, x to the first, and then x to the 0 power. Of course, anything times 0, so x squared was a 1. Okay. See how the coefficient of x squared is 1. X to the first is 0. Its coefficient is 0 because it does not exist. And then x to the 0th power is just a number by itself. Okay, so x to the 0 power is just a number by itself. We don't write x to the 0, we just leave it off. And you'll do that in all your math classes. So every power from the highest power to the lowest power of x is represented, and so we can continue. And then what goes outside is this number here, reversed. Okay. And then, let's see here. We're not going to do any adding. All we're going to do, we're not going to do subtraction. We're going to add. So bring this number down. That's your first step. Oops, sorry. I need to reverse it. Sorry, I didn't reverse it. So negative 2 becomes positive 2. Okay, now brought that number down. And all we do here is multiply and divide. The last number will be the remainder if there is any. So let's do that. Multiply. 2 times 1. How much is that? 2. Put it here. Add 0 plus 2. Sorry, this should have been negative 4. Negative 4. Negative 4. Okay. And then multiply. 2 times 2. This is 4. How much? Okay, add. This is your remainder. Get out of the way. That is your remainder. And so our answer to the division problem, x squared minus 4 divided by x minus 2, is, now go back to the coefficient. So now we got to represent our x's again. X to the first with the coefficient of 1. X to the 0 with the coefficient of 2. Anytime 1 is your coefficient, you don't have to write it. And we don't write x to the powers of 1. We usually only write x to the powers of 2 and higher. And we don't write x, usually don't write any x to the powers that are less than 2. So this becomes x plus 2. You might be thinking, well, that x to the first and that x to the 0 power kind of threw me off a bit. Well, it's always present. It's just that we don't write any x powers that are less than 2. Okay, but this is going to help your understanding for those who are going to get into the STEM courses, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, STEM, STEM. So people who are interested in that, you're going to want to keep that in mind, that even though you don't see these, because you don't have to write that 1 power, and then x to the 0 is just 1. So, but your answer, yes, and you can also factor it, and we'll do some that do not factor in another video. Okay. So this has been my video on synthetic division as a part of polynomial division from Super Genius 99. Thank you for watching.